Welcome to EPG Pathshala. In the last topic, I have discussed about object-oriented programming, and that we consider about how to clone an object, how to use introspection or reflection, which is method of PHP to find out property, method, classes exist or not. Then we consider inheritance, and finally we discuss about access modifier. In today's session, I am going to discuss about abstract class, final class and method, and interface. So let's start with abstract class. Abstract class is a class which cannot be used to create object. Means you cannot create object from abstract class, but the abstract class is used to create a superclass. So any class can inherit that superclass. So abstract class is not used to create class object, but the class which inherit this class, that can be used to create object. Now in abstract class you can define method also. The method can be abstract or non-abstract method. Abstract methods are methods which having method name and parameters, but there isn't any code block implementation you have written in it, means not parenthesis. So this is known as abstract method. So abstract method must be in abstract class, but an abstract class can have abstract as well as non-abstract method. If a class inherit the abstract class, then the class which inherit the abstract class must implement all the abstract method defined in abstract class, and the class which is used to create object is known as a concrete class. So from concrete class you can create an object. Let's understand this concept by writing a code. So let me write a code by using our notepad. So I will open my notepad, and as usual, the first I have to type my opening and closing PHP tag. So I make it and make file, save as. Let me create new folder here in the folder EPG. This is my 4th session on OOP, so I give this folder name OOP4, and that will be first program as abstract.php. So here I define one class name is person. The person class has a 4 attribute: private, $fname, $lname, $mobile, these are property, and email. Dollar means they are variable. Now I have to use constructor to create constructor. I will write public function constructor as a _ construct function name, and pass $fname, $lname. Inside that constructor, $this property fname is assigned to variable this fname, and $this object access operator lname is assigned to $lname. After that constructor, I have to write method get and set for fname. So I will write public function get fname, which does not take any parameter. So I will write return $this property fname, and public function set fname $value. So this is to set $this fname is assigned to $value. Now write code for lname, public function get lname, and in the code block this will return $this and object access operator property lname. To set it, public function set lname $value, $this object access operator property lname is assigned to $value. Now define mobile. So same way getter and setter for mobile. So public function get mobile return $this object access operator property mobile, and public function set mobile pass parameter $value and $this object access operator property mobile is assigned to $value. Then email. So public function get email. Of course here I write the property getter and setter which doesn't pass or take any parameter, but in case you require you can pass their parameter as like any other normal function. So return $this and email, and in the similar way public function set email which take one parameter $value. So I can say write $this email is assigned to $value. So this is all about the class person. Here I define 4 private property: fname, lname, mobile and email. Create one constructor which take fname and lname, and then getter and setter for fname, lname, mobile and email. Now I will define here one abstract method. So I will write abstract public function, let me write get full name. So as the method is abstract, it does not have any coding block into it, just parenthesis. If of course you have any parameter, you can write parameter name here, but you don't provide curly braces. So this is my class, but as abstract class is defined in only abstract class, the class should be, I write abstract, because class can have abstract as well as non-abstract method. But if method is abstract, then your class must be abstract. So I will write abstract class person, and here I write one function abstract public function get full name. Now create one class employee which extends person class, and this class has private attribute employee ID and employee department. Then I write constructor for this class. So public function _construct which takes 4 parameter fname, lname, employee ID and employee department. So $this object access operator EID is assigned to $EID, $this, and eDepartment is assigned to eDepartment. Parent scope resolution operator _construct and pass $fname and $lname. So this is constructor for this one. Now set getter and setter for EID. So write public function get EID, and this function is in one line code return $this EID. Public function set EID pass parameter as a $value $this EID is assigned to $value. Same way for eDepartment getter and setter public function get eDepartment. So this function return $this EDPT means eDepartment, and public function set eDepartment $value, then $this eDepartment is assigned to $value. So this is the class person. Now as I have defined here one abstract method, so as I say, if any abstract class is extended by some class, so all the abstract method must be defined. So the base class as abstract method get full name. So here I have to define that in this class get full name. I will write public function get full name. It is parameterless construction, but here I can write $full is assigned to $this, the method get fname concatenate operator space $this object access operator get lname. I can use this method because the class employee extend class person and return $full. So this is the class. Now I create object. So $emp is assigned to new employee and employee name Vimal, the way employee ID 101 and department is IT. Let me type echo br, the object $emp is br and print underscore r $emp. Now I can call the method, so I write echo br employee full name is br. I call $answer is assigned to $emp and the method I define for employee class is get full name and echo $answer. So let me save this file abstract.php and let me open it from OOP4 folder, and in abstract.php it says the object employee is this, and look at here, I can call the method, so it will display the first name and last name concatenation. Here I use simple one, you can use any one. Now just look at here, if just let me show what actually happens. If I just make remarks here in the class employee to demonstrate what actually PHP shows error, and I run this, it says class employee constraint one abstract method and must therefore be declared abstract or implement the remaining method, because the method in the class is employee as a one abstract method is get full name, and that's why it shows error. Let me show it another way. Let's say for example here I define only, let me uncomment that code and say for example if I just remove the keyword abstract from class person, and let me show you that even if I write all this class not written, what actually it shows. I put comment here, save this one, refresh this one. So it says class person contains one abstract method and must therefore be declared abstract. That means class must be abstract or implement the remaining method in that class. That means method is abstract, then class must be abstract. While an abstract class can have abstract as well as non-abstract method, as we have this, all the public function get fname, get lname, etc. are non-abstract. So I write here abstract class person, and here I define abstract public, and as I say, even if you write empty curly braces, that will also shows error. Let me show this one. If you run it, it says abstract get full name cannot contain body. That means it has only parameter name you can write. Let's say for example if you type $value1. So that's fine, it doesn't make any error for this one. Of course, if you use that way, then okay, but it does not allow you to write body of that code. So let me just uncomment again and show you the original code. So this is class employee, which extend class person, and here we use this method. So this is abstract method is override or implemented. Here I use only one abstract method. If there are 10 abstract method, all the abstract method must be implemented by the class which inherited. If there are 10 abstract method, you make only 9, though it will show error. All the abstract method must be implemented by that class. So this is all about abstract class as well as abstract method we have taken. This is abstract class, abstract method. So we define that abstract method here, and then we make use of this one. So this is, let me show you by save this file and execute the code. So object is this and employee full name is this. The next point is how you can use final class and method. So to demonstrate it, let me again copy the same code. I can make another code, but let me make copy of the same code here. So let me copy the whole file. So I select this whole file using by Ctrl A, or by that way create new PHP file, and I use file save as to final.php. So the final keyword is used that you don't want to anyone is override or inherit anything. So let me make first how you can make method as a final. So let me, now my class is not abstract, and I make only in class person just one change is I just change this one as a final public function get full name. So my this function get full name is final, so class employee can extend class person, but as in the class employee public get full name is override, it will shows error. So let me show this one, save this one, let me execute this code into refresh in browser. Final, it says non-abstract method person must contain body. Okay, let me provide body here in the original class. Echo h1 hello from final get full name. This is a just simply message we would like to use here. Of course I can write empty curly braces as well. Now if I execute it, says cannot override final method in person. Overriding means you give the same name as the superclass, so that will be create the problem here. So this is you cannot, because in class employee we override it, so that's why it shows error. You cannot override the final method. Not only that, if you make any class as a final, say for example if I write here final class, so class cannot be inherited by another class. So class person is not inherited by class employee, because here I write class employee extend person. So if I refresh this, it shows class employee may not inherit from final class. So this is the use of final keyword. So you want to make that will be your method is final, so it will not be override you want to, then you can define them as a final. And if you want any class is not inherited by another class, you can make it final also. So this is all about final class and final method. Interface. So some object oriented programming language like C++ supports multiple inheritance. That means a class can inherit more than one class simultaneously, but PHP can support at a time only one class can be inherited. So what you to do if you want to use multiple class? So the solution might be that you cannot inherit multiple class, but you can use interface, because PHP allows to inherit multiple interfaces simultaneously. So interfaces you can define that have any method as well as constant. The method defined in interface is you define only method definition, means method name and parameter names. You cannot implement the method, means the logic or code block you cannot write as like abstract method. The method you define in interface must be public, as well as method must be non-static, means static method you cannot define in interfaces. Of course, you can define class constant in interfaces also, so that class constant can be available to any class which implement that interface. The method defined in interface must be implemented by the class which implement the interface, and PHP can support interface in implementation simultaneously, as well as at the same time you can inherit a class and multiple interfaces. To give idea, let me write code as well as example for the same. So let me start by writing a code. So let me open my notepad file. So here I open my notepad file and let me create code for that. So I create opening, close and closing tag for PHP file, save as, this is the third one and it is interface demo. So I give this file name as a interface.php. Now let me write interface say test1. You can give any name, but here I define interface test1. To define interface, the general syntax is interface and interface name, and then you can define constant and constant value as well as public function, because the function must be public. So interface test1, here I define one method public function, let me write show. So as I say, it can define only method name, not definition. Let me create another interface. I give this name as a interface test2. Say for example, it takes two parameter, public function disp, and it take one variable $variable when, and maybe define another method public function name is add, and it takes two variable $1 and variable $2. So this is the definition of interface. So here I define two interfaces. Now let me define one class. Let's say for example, I define class person, and the class as a attribute dollar, or simply I can say fname, lname, mobile and email. Let me define constructor for that class. So I will write public function construct $fname for first name and for last name $lname, and in the constructor $this object access operator fname is assigned to this value, $this lname is assigned to $lname. So this is constructor. Now I write method for fname, getter and setter. So I will write public function get fname, return $this fname, public function set fname, $value pass as a parameter, then $this and fname is assigned to $value. Another method is lname. So public function get lname, return $this object access operator lname, and to set it value public function set lname, pass parameter $value, then $this object access operator lname is assigned to $value. Third one is mobile. So again I have to write getter setter for that one. So public function get mobile and return $this mobile. Public function set mobile $value $this and mobile is assigned $value. And last is email. Public function get email return $this property email. Public function set email parameter $value. So I will write $this email is assigned to $value. So this is my class. I just repeat. First we define constructor in class person. 4 private attributes. We take constructor for fname and lname, get fname, set fname, and then we define for mobile, for getter and setter, and for email. Now we use another class employee, which extends person class. So I write extends person, and to implement the interfaces I will write implements. The interface name is test1 and test2, so I will write here test1 comma test2. So these are the two interfaces. That means I simultaneously use the class person which is inherited, as well as I implement these two interfaces. Now in class employee I will define private employee ID and employee department, 2 attribute. Again I have to use one constructor for that class, so I will write public function construct method with fname, lname, employee ID and employee department. So we set this $this EID is assigned to this variable, $this and eDepartment is assigned to $eDepartment, and to parent class has this method, so we call parent constructor with pass value fname and lname. Now we write method for EID. So I will write getter and setter for that. Public function get EID return $this EID, and public function set EID with parameter $value. So $this EID is assigned to $value. This last one is eDepartment. So public function get eDepartment is return $this and eDepartment. To set it, public function set eDepartment parameter $value. So $this eDepartment is assigned to $value. So that now we want to use the interfaces. So the interface test1 has a method show. So I will write that method, means implement that method. So here I will write in that class public function show. it doesn't take any parameter, so let me write echo h1, let me write employee full name is concatenate and $this, the method name is get f name, concatenate space again concatenate $this get l name, echo again h1 employee department is, let me provide some space here, the same way I have to provide some space here, then I can write $this and get department, or if I pass here then I can simply write e department because it is in the same class, but the method is public, so I can call that edpt, echo h1 employee id is $this get eid /h1. So this is now another two functions I have to write is for, the first one is public function disp which take one parameter, let me write variable or value, or I can say name, so it will say echo h1 hello from $name /h1. Another function is public function add which take two parameters, so I write number 1 and number 2, and here I define $sum is assigned to $num1 plus $num2, and this is written $sum. So all the methods is implemented because in interface test1 I have write show, so let me put comments so that will make code much better to read it. So this is implementation of interface test1, and this two methods is for test 2 because in interface test 2 we define function disp and add for display and add. Disp take one parameter, this one take two parameters. Now let us create object. So $emp is assigned to new employee and it will take Vimal Dave, employee ID let's say 123 and department is let's say IT. Echo br object employee is br and print underscore r $emp. Now we can use the method, so I will set echo br to use the show method of interface test1 br and $emp object access operator, the method name is show. Echo br use disp method of interface test2 br. So as it takes one parameter, here I write $emp and disp, let me write my name Hiren. Echo h1 use add method of interface test2 slash h1. So here I define $answer is assigned to $emp and method name is add, which takes two parameters. Let me use 10 and 12 and say echo br answer is $answer, right? So I save this code. Let me execute it to see the implementation. So refresh this page, run this. So it shows object 1 is this, employee ID 123, department is IT, name is Vimal, last name the way, mobile and email we haven't defined. Then employee full name is this, department is this, interface 2 it says hello Hiren, and 10 plus 2 is 22. You can see here it is just method of formatting. Instead of br I can use h1 also, so that will be look very similar to you. You can easily visualize it, similar in the sense you can visualize it. So if you look at this code, so here it is just calling the method. You can provide any value, as you know when you write function. So this will be use of interface. Here I shows only two interface, but if you provide as many interface as you like, and that will be class can be inherited only one, means extend one class, but interface can be implements as many as you like. But as I just repeat that interface take only method and constant, and that constant can be also use the class which implements it, and the method that you define in interface must be public and non-static, and all the methods that you define in interface must be implemented into it. Say for example, if I not define this method, then again it will shows error. To give the idea that test2 has a two method, so I implement only one method, and if I run that code, so it says class employee contains one abstract method and must therefore be declared abstract or implement remaining method. Which method we have to implement? Add of test2 interface. So this is the use of interface. It will be very helpful because there is no other way to provide multiple inheritance that you may require during your coding. So this is all about interfaces. So let me just summarize this code. First I create one interface test1 with one method without parameter. The method name is show. In interface test2 we define two function. The first function disp1 which take one parameter, and another function add which take two parameter. Then we define class person with four attributes: first name, last name, mobile and email. Then we use constructor, getter and setter for all these four attribute. Then we write class employee which extend person and implements interface test1 and test2. Then we define private property, employee ID and employee department. Write constructor which will be used parent class of the class employee which is person, and then getter and setter for EID and department. Then we implement the function show which display first name and last name, employee department and employee ID. Then we use public function display, so which will display the name you provide here, and again implement the method add of interface test2 that will be return one value, and then we provide this value and test it. So it is all about interface. So let me summarize this lecture that in this session first we consider abstract class and abstract method, then we write final method and final class, and finally we discuss about interface. So this is all about object oriented programming. If you look at the whole, we started with what is object oriented programming. The features of object oriented programming are encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, data abstraction. Then I will show you how to use class and how to create object, properties, method. Then we define class constant, how to define constructor. Then we go through static property and method, how you can loop through object properties and method. Then we consider about how you can clone the object or copy the object. Then we discuss how you can use final to not allow inherited class or not override the method, how to use inheritance, and how to use the reflection. And then we consider abstract class and methods as well as interfaces. So this is all about object oriented programming. I hope you enjoying this lecture.